Are we going to chimp out? That's my question. Are we going to chimp? When is the chimp going to happen? Is the chimp going to happen? Is it right for a Christian to chimp out? When should a Christian chimp out? These are the questions we need to be asking ourselves, because I've seen too many videos like this. I actually commented on this one because this was like the third or fourth video today that I saw of some defenseless white girl being attacked by non-white men in Europe. And this happens every single day in Germany, in France, in England, in Sweden. Over and over again, we see these videos. I'm not going to play it for you because it's terrible, but these men just have a white girl and they're beating her on camera. And this is unique because we have a video of it, but these are happening all over the place, not on camera, and we have the statistics to prove it. But I commented on this one and I asked, in a proper nation, even one video like this would begin the revolution. Now we have videos like this every day and it does nothing. Our nations are dead. Our enemies are wearing our nations as a skin suit. And by our enemies, I don't mean the immigrants. I mean those in charge. I mean the UN and the World Economic Forum and the Labour Party. These are our enemies wearing our nation as a skin suit, pretending to be England, pretending to be Ireland, while they perpetuate the continued replacement, rape, and assault, and ultimately murder and suicide of our people, of our countries. But in a proper nation, if a people was allowed to be a people, they would never put up with this. In their own homes, we would understand that those who are not of us were not allowed to be abusing our women on camera in our country. It would be over. It would be over. The liberal world order would be over if we had proper nations. But the question is, do we have nations anymore? Is there even a French nation? Is there an America? Is there an England that is just asleep? Or is it dead and being worn as a skin suit? Well, the question is, are we allowed to see ourselves as a nation? That's really the question. Are we allowed to care that it is a white girl being assaulted by non-white guys? Does that matter? Because for about 75 years, we've been told, no, that doesn't matter. These are just men and women, and maybe even on paper, they're all French. Maybe on paper, they're all French, right? They're citizens of France, and that's all that France is. France is not a nation. It's just a nation state. And a nation state is something you can become the citizen of by just getting your citizenship. You can become a Frenchman, because being a Frenchman has nothing to do with who you are. It has everything to do with your legal status, right? But that's not exactly reality. Reality is this. Here's sexual offenses in London by nationality. Restore Britain posted this. If you're not following this account, follow it. It's pretty much the only good political party. It's not a real party, but the only good political party in England right now. They posted sexual offenses by nationality. I want to point out the source, the Center for Migration Control. This is not made up. If anything, the leftists who run London and who run England would not want you to see these stats. So they would probably minimize and change the reporting, like we see sometimes in the United States, where a black man or an Arab or an Asian will be listed as white on the crime statistics. It's very easy to mess with these. But even so, here is what they're reporting. These are the numbers they are actually reporting. Per 10,000 charged, actually charged, not accused, but charged with the sexual offense, we have Afghanistan, Eritrea, Algeria, Somalia, Sudan, top 5. Man, look at that. At the top, Afghanistan has 74 per 10,000. 74 men charged with sexual offenses in London per 10,000. Well, you know, per 10,000, that might not seem so bad until we look all the way down at the bottom. Look at here in the red. British, 6.5. 6.5 British nationals committed sexual offenses, charged with sexual offenses in London, versus 74 from Afghanistan. Does that matter? Is that real? Is that just a coincidence? Roll of the dice? Is it just luck that made it so? that there just happened to be that many more sexual offenders from Afghanistan and Eritrea and Algeria than from Britain and France? Does it really matter? I think it does. I think every time we see this, we're not surprised. We know that this is real, but we're not allowed to admit it. Liberal, secular humanism tells us that that is blasphemy. It is blasphemy to say that these nationalities are more likely to assault than other nationalities, especially for the British in Britain, in our own home, in our own home. The fact that these men from Afghanistan or Somalia are allowed to be in London in the first place to commit these crimes is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the British people, to their nation, that they're allowing all of these nationalities to commit these offenses in their state. Return to monkey has never had a stronger argument than this graph. Because in a more primitive time, in a more savage time, if one Afghani committed some of these horrific crimes that we see in London, then all of the Afghani community would be in trouble. They might get expelled from the nation because they are here as guests, because this is the British nation. In fact, it's the opposite, and we all know it. It just came out today that they actually have charged the man who filmed these Scottish little girls with assaulting a minor. He's been charged because it has been proved that they bashed one of these girls' heads in. She went to the hospital with a concussion. And because we have a video that the idiot filmed himself and posted online, we had a viral news story. And then finally, the Scottish police were forced to charge this man with a crime. Guess who already got charged with a crime? She did. This girl got charged with a crime because she had these knives, right? Oh, look at that. She's pretty scary, right? So she got charged with a crime for having those knives way before the man who bashed the girls' heads in got charged. Because that's secular, liberal humanism. She is the enemy in her own nation. The locals, the indigenous, are the enemy. Because the evil that is wearing our nation as a skin suit wants these people to die, wants to take over and use their power against them, wants to leverage guilt and shame for post-colonialism to make these people hate themselves and commit suicide. Well, are we going to do it? That's the question. Should a Christian do it? Is suicide a Christian virtue? I think we know the answer to that. But should a Christian stand up and say, no, not in my home, I'm going to protect my people? Well, the Ordo Amoris discussion is about that. Does Ordo Amoris apply to your people, your nation, your ethnicity? I would say yes. I hope more Christians would say yes so that we will not have the injustice that we are seeing now in so many places. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.